Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. So today I have with me NABARD Grade A officer, Mr. Gowtham NR. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Gowtham.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to everyone there who are watching this video, I would like to give a brief introduction of Mr. Gowtham. As you know, this is a series of toppers talk. So the candidates who have been selected in the year 2021 as NABARD Grade A officers discuss with us their strategies. So in this series only, Mr. Gowtham, he has a very diverse background. I'll just give his quick introduction, right? And then he'll tell about himself more. So he is an engineering, he has done engineering. He is an engineer by background, and then he worked in IT industry. He also prepared for UPSC examination. In 2013, he passed out, worked in IT sector, then appeared in UPSC in 2016, and then was preparing for banking examinations, also appeared in NABARD. Now, when he got selected in NABARD in 2021, he is working as AAO in LIC, right? So we'll ask more about his background, right? Gautam, please tell us more about this diversity in your background.
I think you have touched upon most of them, but only thing is when I was working in IT industry, I quit the job to enter public sector. Initially, I tried UPSC for only one attempt, and I did not want to go much deep into it. My aim is just to work in public sector, whatever it may be. So after one attempt in UPSC, I jumped into banking examinations because a lot of examinations are there. And among them, NABARD catched my interest because of the area where NABARD is working. It is working for agriculture and rural development. So that kind of interested me. And from 2018, I have been preparing for NABARD. And in 2019, I gave a very serious attempt for NABARD and I reached till interview stage, but I lost final selection by 1.75 marks. So after that, I joined LIC as a WAO. And after that, in 2021, I got time to prepare. So I prepared that and I prepared very seriously this time also. And this time I have been able to rectify my mistakes and I have been able to improve my performance and I have got selected finally.
So finally, as you said, NABARD caught your attention. You wanted to work for NABARD and now you are now selected as an officer. So congratulations to you, your family members for this achievement.
Thank you.
So see, when you were telling about your background, I had this question in mind. I am sure this might have been asked to you in any of your interviews, okay? Because you have appeared in so many examinations that you said you wanted to work in public sector, be it any area, right? But why was it so that, you know, not specifically UPSC, not specifically banking sector, but it should be not private sector?
And basically it is about giving back to the society, where the society has done a lot of and it is just giving back. And whatever it may be, even if we are going to UPSC, it is going to be an indirectly impacting the society. So the same is the case with RBI and NABARD. Wherever you work in public sector, anyhow indirectly it is going to impact the society. And from a practical point of view, also, if you are going to be stuck in either only UPSC or RBI only, I'm going to prefer. Like that means you may be wasting your crucial years also. A lot of years will be wasting. So from a practical aspect also, you should be open to a lot of diverse options and you have to pursue multiple career paths. And you have to be able to, get selected and get into job as soon as possible. That was my idea.
Very well said, that was. And I think this is going to help the aspirants also there. That is why I asked this question, because people have this notion in mind that only this exam I want to appear in, only this particular sector I want to work in. So if you have a kind of clarity that, you know, I have to work, this is the reason I have to work, it will be fine. You work in any sector. So coming to the preparation part, right? As this was your third attempt, but you have appeared in interview earlier also. So how did you strategize your preparation? Was there any specific plan that you followed for exam?
I am now working in LIC as a WAO. So I was a working candidate. So for what I did was I started my preparation for this attempt very early. For this year 2021 September, our phase 1 examination came, but I had started my preparation slowly from February itself. Because one of the problems that many candidates we do is we wait till the notification comes and only around the notification time we start the preparation. That is a very dangerous thing to do when it comes to NABARD. So because as I am also working candidate, my time is also very less for preparation. I started very early from February, March, I slowly started preparing. And initially, since I had experience of last 2 attempts also, The static part, I did not need to cover that much. Only at the end, I was able to study. So what I did was I started with current affairs slowly from February, March. And whenever I got time, I focused on a static part also. Especially this agriculture part is very huge, and it is also very difficult for engineering candidates and also all other non-agri candidates. So whenever I got time, initially I started covering current affairs, and after that I finished the agriculture agriculture static part from EduTap materials once. And after that, as exam came near, I started preparing other areas also, economics and social issues, and also general awareness. Everything I started preparing like that. So this was my strategy. And one thing, major change I did this time was, from beginning I had phase 2 mindset only,
Hmm.
because phase 1 is just a selection stage only. The marks of phase 1 is not going to be counted for your final selection. Only that phase 2 written marks and interview marks is going to matter. So from my beginning, my mindset was to focus on phase 2 only. So from beginning, I focused on that. And for phase 1, only for 1 or 2 months before only, I started focusing more on from a phase 1 mindset. So that is my suggestion, is to always have a phase 2 mindset, because that is only counts for your final marks.
This is very important because especially with this merit section now, that ESI and ARD are now merit section. And then if you have phase 2 in mind, as you said, it is anyhow going to help you, because if you go only with phase 1 mindset, you will be lacking somewhere. But I want to mention here one thing, as we were discussing earlier, that you told me according to the marks released, you have got 79 marks out of 100 in the merit section of phase 1. And it is also rank 1 if we count the marks of preliminary section, right?
Yeah.
So that is wonderful score that you have got. How did you manage to get that?
I want to mention one thing, because this year NABARD has changed that exam pattern. And in phase 2, they have introduced economics and social issues descriptive part. So that is one additional challenge for all the candidates, because for objective and descriptive, very different type of preparation and studies are required, and practice is also very different. But a very good thing for aspirants is, in phase 1, they have made only this economic, social issues, and agriculture, rural development, and general awareness as merit section. Only those marks are going to be counted for your selection in phase 1. And very good thing about this is only all these 3 sections are going to be helpful for phase 2 also. So you can give more importance to these 3 sections alone. Other things, reasonings, quants, it is just if you are able to secure that sectional cutoff, or maybe if you want to be safe, more than 50% of marks in that, you are going to be safe. So in phase 1, now NABARD itself has changed the pattern where you are going to be focusing on ESI and ARD, which is going to be helpful for phase 2 also. So that is a good change they have done. So maybe because as I have been from the beginning, as I had phase 2 mindset, I have been able to score well in phase 1 also.
Again, that helped, as you said, because you focused on these 3 sections, and ESI ARD helped. But as you only mentioned, that pattern changed this time, and you have appeared earlier also. So how did you cope up with the descriptive part? Because preparation is, again, as you said, is a bit different. Objective phase 1, phase 2 is still the same, the syllabus and even the questions. But what about descriptive?
Okay, for this descriptive part, what I have done is, first I will talk about this objective part. Objective part questions are going to be mostly about facts and data and information. So if you are going to be revising all the materials, studying all the materials again and again, you will be able to answer the questions in phase 1. But phase 2 requires a different approach. First, you need to have a comprehensive understanding of each topics, be it like employment generation or irrigation or inflation. You need to have a comprehensive understanding about the basics of the topic first. And after that, you need to make your own opinions about the topic. That skills need to be there. That is not required in objective. So in descriptive, you need to make your own opinion about those topics and those issues, and that is required. And the third one is, you need to make opinions and you need to give suggestions, solutions, and this is one skill. And third one is, you need to have typing skills. For descriptive part, we have to type 2000 words in 90 minutes, which is quite difficult. Without practice, it is very difficult. So for this, I quite rigorously practiced for the descriptive answer writing, that is typing. And initially, it was very difficult to complete 2000 words in 90 minutes. But after some rigorous practice, I have been able to achieve that also. So for this descriptive part, these 3 things are essential. One is comprehensive understanding of the topic, and the ability to make your own opinions and suggestions, and your writing skills. These three are required for descriptive. So from beginning, I focused on that also.
Okay. See, you said that you typing speed, I'll talk about it first. Okay. How will you suggest? I get this question a lot from the students, that how to improve my typing speed.
Actually, I am not a good person to answer that question, because from beginning my typing has been very good, because in my family we ran a typewriting institute when I was a child, so typing came very naturally to me. So I did not make any special steps to improve my typing speed and all. So typing came very naturally to me. So I think I may not be able to
Okay,
appropriately answer that
but
question.
still, you said that practice is required. You know, you have the way you improve is okay, but still you need to practice a lot. That I have to reach to that level.
And just to tell you an example, we are having this 15-mark question in descriptive part now. 15-mark question requires, I think, 600 words we need to type for that. When I first started practicing, those 600 words I have been able to type. I was able to take only take 1 hour to complete that one question. But in exam hall, we need to complete that question within 35 minutes. So from 1 hour to 35 minutes, I have reduced only by rigorous practicing only.
Practicing. It will anyhow help, obviously, because if you know that I am not good in this particular thing, you have to work on it then. Okay. And as you said that, you know, you have to have holistic understanding, basic understanding, good understanding, and then opinion also. So would you recommend students to read newspapers also for that?
Yeah, actually, newspaper reading is good, but as I was working candidate, I did not have ample time to read newspapers daily. So I was reading that current affairs magazines, whatever I was reading that. And for very important topics, for example, when I was writing, the important topics were that the 3 formulas were there, and NABARD was promoting FPOs at that time. So these important topics, I did extensive research in internet, and I made own notes for that. Only that, as I was working candidate, I was able to do that only. If you are non-working candidate, if you are having time, it is recommended to read newspapers daily.
Right. So for both the candidates who are working or non-working, you have got your thing to pick up from. So if you can devote time, go for newspaper reading. If you cannot, if you feel that you have other exams approaching, or it may be any reason, then current affairs magazine would also be fine, plus your own research, right? You have to find out few things and make notes. Okay. So this is about descriptive part. And would you also like to tell me about this part of decision making? I'm taking you to the phase 1 section, because decision making was a new subject. It's not very common, because computer or quant reasoning are quite common. So how did you manage? How did you prepare for it?
Actually, I was using one mock test from one coaching institute for that. And in that, in decision making, I was able to score good marks. Out of 10, I was in that mock test, I was scoring around 7 or 8 marks continuously. So I thought I did not require much preparation for that. And I think EduTap also gave for decision making some materials. I think that also I read. But what happened was, in exam hall, the questions were completely different from what I had read from EduTap and also what I did in mock test. They were completely different, but they were manageable easily. If you are having good command over English, and if you are understanding that question perfectly, based on common sense, you can answer that question. Answer that question. And in decision making, out of 10, I have got 7.5. And anyhow, sectional cutoff is 1.25 only. So my recommendation is, with basic sense, you can clear that. There is
so
not
no
much to worry.
expertise is required, and hence you do not need to worry about this particular subject. Easily it can be managed, even with common sense.
One caution, one caution that I need to give is, I think around 2018, I prepared for RBI. At that time, I prepared for that management and leadership skills also. Maybe that could have also helped. Maybe you can go through that material once for that.
That can help. Yes, that actually that is a good thing you mentioned. Thank you for this, because RBI candidates who have the preparation of RBI, they can manage that part easily, because it is not that deeper, but still the preparation will help. Right. So we have discussed about decision making and quant reasoning English. Do you think can be easily managed with a decent practice of mock test, or any other thing you would like to mention?
Again, for reasoning and quants, when I started banking preparation in 2018, I made quite structured preparation. For reasoning and quants, for each topic, I took it, and for each topic, there will be some basic formulas or basic concepts and basic approaches will be there. I will note down in just one single sheet. And even within each topic, there will be multiple modes of question. Even for, let's say, sitting arrangements, we will have circular sitting arrangements, rectangular sitting arrangements, different types of arrangements will be there. I will be practicing all the multiple modes. So this basic formulas and basic concepts you need to learn, and you need to practice all the multiple modes. Whatever modes of question is there, if you are practicing this, you will comfortably answer this reasoning and quant section. And in NABARD, it is somewhat easy. Whatever they have asked so far, next year maybe they will ask maybe difficult. But so far, reasoning and quants, it is somewhat manageable only. With you need to significantly prepare, because quants cutoff and reasoning sectional cutoff itself is by around 5 marks, 6 marks it is there, I think. And if you are not at all preparing, and if you are weak in these areas, it will become difficult for you. So my recommendation is you prepare somewhat seriously for reasoning and quants. And for English, from college days, I have been improving my English skills. So without much preparation, I have been able to clear that. So I have not prepared anything separately for English, so I am not able to talk about that.
Okay, but for quant and reasoning, you have given a good point of advice for the candidates who are preparing the future aspirants, or even who have appeared and could not make it due to the sectional cutoff, that please do not take quant and reasoning lightly. What people do is that, okay, it's just, sectional also, still you need to score a 6, you need to score 5. So you must prepare for it decently, although rigorous preparation is not required, but still you should have a decent level. Okay, so this is about our non-merit section, right? You have also told us about the descriptive preparation, but now taking you to the preparation of phase 2 specifically, right? I would request you to tell us about the practice of ESI static part, and also ARD static, touch upon those static of both the subjects.
For ESI static, whatever I read for UPSC, it was very much helpful. I did not require very rigorous studying for ESI static, but certain topics I need to revisit. Certain topics I have forgotten, certain areas I am weak. So those areas which I wanted to revisit, I referred EduTap ESI static materials for that. And for ARD static materials, I completely referred EduTap only, because agriculture and rural development, the topic and the syllabus is very huge. If you are you cannot go for multiple sources. So I stuck with EduTap. I read it once and I tried to revise it 2 times before that. But even after revising 2 times also, I was not still strong in agriculture part, because it is quite difficult. But my recommendation is you try to read it and revise it as much as possible. Even though you may not feel very strong about it, but in exam hall, somehow it will unconsciously help. Unconsciously you will be picking up right answers, because you have read it somewhere and somewhere it will strike in your mind. So my recommendation is whoever is preparing for NABARD seriously, try to cover agriculture in the beginning itself seriously, because it is very huge. If you are going to push it towards the end, it will become very difficult. So much earlier itself, you finish it once and you try to revise it 2 times before the exam. That is ARD static, and ESI static is
okay. So were there any specific chapters or specific topics you covered in more detail for ARD or ESI, or did you cover the complete syllabus?
For ESI, I did not do separately, because I was quite comfortable with economics and social issues. But for agriculture, I read certain topics quite importantly, but I am not able to remember the topics. But how I picked the topic was based on previous year question papers. Last 4 or 5 years question papers, I think they are available in EduTap website also. At the YouTube channel, it is available, I think. If you go through it, what are the areas they have asked questions? If you go through it, and if you just take the topic and you revise it, mostly it will be like irrigation and animal husbandry and plant diseases. And one more thing is, every year it is changing, because till 2-3 years ago, plant diseases and plant nutrients, they were asking so many questions. Now they have completely, now they are not asking, they have shifted to certain other topics. But referring previous year question papers and strategizing your preparation accordingly will help you definitely.
Right. So the students who are preparing and have never seen the previous year papers, they are missing out a very, very important thing. Because how will you then define that this is important for me, or what level of question, in what depth I have to prepare? So please do check the previous year questions, right? And
this previous year question papers are very, very important, because NABARD syllabus, it's like a vast sea. There are so much you need to read, and if you are not having this previous year question paper, you will be lost in that sea. Previous year question papers are like your lighthouses. You need to course correct your preparation. Okay, these are the questions being asked, and not just the topics being asked, how they are asking, that we can know from previous year question paper. Even if you are reading topic like inflation, what kind of questions are being asked from that topic, like that we need to approach. So previous year question papers are very, very important. They are your lighthouses. If you are using that very well, your preparation will become easier.
Very good example of lighthouse, actually. This is, I think students will be able to relate to this particular thing, that when you enter the sea of preparation, how do you need to direct yourself, right? And also, let us now talk about current affairs, because I think current affairs for phase 2 and phase 1, you had this integrated preparation for, like, barring GA, of course, for ESI and ARD. So let's talk about the government schemes first. That how did you prepare, which ministry, which scheme?
For schemes, there is, from Vision IAS, I prepared a schemes document. Their schemes document is there. I prepared them comprehensively. But for phase 1, I prepared all the schemes, everything. But for phase 2, whatever is relevant for economic, social issues and agriculture and rural development, only those schemes I prepared. And there will be certain flagship schemes like MG Narega and National Rural Livelihood Mission. For those flagship missions, I studied from multiple sources, from Vision IAS, and also EduTap schemes document is there. That one I studied, and also I referred to Wikispedia. For flagship schemes, I referred these three for phase 2, because in phase 2, they are asking very in-depth questions and very minute information also they are asking. So it is better if you, at least for flagship schemes, you need to refer multiple sources and you need to make notes for it. So schemes I studied from these only.
Okay. And as you said that ESI and ARD specific schemes are relevant for phase 2, right? And you were referring to multiple sources to cover everything in detail. So did you use
only for important schemes? Only for important schemes I referred multiple.
Right. So did you used to make your own notes so that, you know, you can easily
materials? So only for important schemes.
Okay.
For schemes, I made my own notes, because it is very huge. Even if you any source, if you take, it will run more than 250, 300 pages. Every time taking it and revising is very difficult. So what I know is, from previous year question papers, you need to see how the questions from schemes are being asked, and you take any source and you read the schemes and only take that information which is relevant for this examination. And I made my own notes. And only one time I will read that source, and after making my own notes, I will be revising from my own notes only. It will save time also after towards the end.
Of course, yes, because otherwise you'll have to go back to so many sources, or even if it is one, it is quite lengthy. You'll have to go back to it and then cover it up again. Okay. So government schemes, as you mentioned, so all the schemes for phase 1 and then important ones for phase 2. Now coming to other parts, like, you know, the current affairs. So how did you manage that? How many months? Which source?
Current affairs, I studied from 3 sources. For economics and social issues, I referred from Vision IAS currently monthly magazine. For last 1 year, I tried to study. And for agriculture and rural development current affairs, I studied from EduTap. And for reports also, I studied from EduTap. EduTap monthly magazine is there. So that I have covered. And for general awareness, I studied from Bankers ADA and Grade A. I tried to cover last 6 months. So these were my sources for current affairs.
So 6 months of current affairs, but you said that Vision magazine you covered from 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year I covered.
See, now I have this one question that, you know, you had UPSC background somewhere, you had read, you were familiar with Vision. Okay. Now there are many students who do not have UPSC background, and they have this concern in their mind that if you do not refer to those sources, which they find difficult actually, having no such idea of UPSC preparation. So is it mandatory for them also to refer to such magazines or such sources for the exam, or if they refer to the sources which are specifically for NABARD will also be okay?
I think even if I was reading from other sources, I was not reading entirely. Only the parts which were relevant to NABARD and NABARD syllabus I was reading. So even if you are taking monthly magazines of other institutes, you don't need to read it fully. You just need to read about economics and then environment and social issues. Only these three are there. And agriculture, no other institute will cover. Only EduTap will cover agriculture. So for agriculture and rural development, I completely studied from EduTap materials, EduTap current affairs materials. But for other things, as I was familiar with other coaching institutes, I used to study them because they are useful for phase 1 and the phase 2 also. So I used them.
Plus, as you said, that picking up the things relevant for NABARD is more important. That you should know. That is a good point again that you have made. Right. So I think we have discussed quite a good things about your current affairs, government schemes. Anything else you'd like to add up that we haven't discussed, but you feel is important for the students?
Yeah, this budget and economic survey are very important for that. And budget and economic survey, again, I referred from three sources. I referred the summary of budget and economic survey from EduTap, and then Bankers Adda, and one more source. From three sources I referred because definitely some questions will be asked from budget and economic survey in this examination. And so I referred from three sources and I made my own notes again, because going and revising three sources again and again is very difficult. So I consolidated in my own notes and I revised it again and again. Budget and economic survey, I have that is very important topic. And even within economic survey, normally summary is enough, but only for agriculture related topic. There will be in all economic survey for agriculture, they will dedicate at least one chapter. For that, it is better to directly read from economic survey.
Okay, so two very important documents. These are survey and budget, and you should cover them. These will anyhow be helpful in the entire exam. So talking about your interview now, please tell us, how was your interview first of all?
Interview was actually, I thought my interview did not go well. When I came out of my interview exam hall, I thought I did not do well. I thought, but I have got 45 out of 50 in an interview, and that interview marks only has boosted my performance in my rank. It is boosted, and it has selected. It has helped me secure in my final list. And for interview again, I made a very different kind of preparation, because in interview your personality is tested and your knowledge is also tested, but your knowledge is not tested from a theoretical point of view, but from a very practical point of view. So I made three important preparation for interview. First one is about NABARD. We need to know about in-depth. So for preparation about NABARD, I completely read NABARD annual report and I made own notes for it. And after that, I used a NABARD website. And there are in NABARD, there are around 20 to 25 departments are there. And in NABARD website, they have in detail, they have given functions of all the departments, all the schemes, all the initiatives they are running. They have given everything. So for NABARD, about NABARD, I used the NABARD's annual report and this NABARD website for my preparation. And as I was working candidate, they will definitely ask about my work experience. And as I was working in LIC, and definitely they were going to ask, and especially at that interview time, LIC IPO was a very hot topic at that time. So I knew that definitely they were going to ask. So about LIC also, I prepared thoroughly. For LIC, they put this draft prospectus for IPO where they had in detail explained about LIC's functioning and also about generally in insurance industry, everything. So that one I prepared in detail. And third one is your biodata, that you need to definitely prepare. So my suggestion is you prepare about NABARD in depth, and if you are working candidate, about your work experience, you need to know in depth. And third one is biodata. These three you need to prepare.
Okay. And moreover, questions are also from the same aspects only, because if you have work experience, then they are going to ask about it. If you are, let's say, a fresher, then obviously they're going to ask about your education. What have you studied in college or such things? Your specific stream. And NABARD, very important, as you said, right? Itself about NABARD. And did you give any mocks also for before going to the final interview?
Yeah. I gave 2 mocks. One with EduTap and one with another institute. And first one, when I gave without any preparation, I just gave that mock and it went very bad. And After that, after preparing some time, I gave one more mock and it went somewhat decent. And for mocks, not just coaching institutes, I asked my fiance and one friend also. They conducted me mocks 4 or 5 times. And interview is about that only. Shaping your mindset for that interview is very important. For that, mocks will be helpful. I did not. I won't take seriously the performance in my mocks. I use mocks to just bring my mindset towards interview. So when I gave my first interview, it went very bad. Okay, no, okay, this went very bad. So I need to improve my mindset and improve my way of thinking, my way of speaking. So that with each and every mock, I will improve my mindset and my way of speaking towards that. And so that at the final interview, you will be comfortable with that.
That is a good advice, actually, that rather than only thinking that I need to prepare on this, you need to get a shift in mindset also.
Yeah.
And see, as you said that you felt that interview was not good when you came out of the interviewing room, but you have scored really good scores. 45 is a decent score out of 50. So that means that actually your personality was being tested there and it came out well. So theek hai. Anything else for interview? I think you've told all important things.
Yeah. For interview, one more thing is whatever you are preparing, what I did was I tried to link it with NABARD. For example, now I am working in LIC, so insurance sector they are going to definitely ask. So from insurance, again from NABARD point of view, we need to think about agricultural insurance. They asked about that also. Fasal Bima Yojana, they asked. And you are working in, as I am working in it, they first one of the questions they asked me was how your working LIC will help in NABARD. Like that they were. So even if I'm working preparing for my work experience or insurance, I should not prepare only in that aspect alone. Just pure insurance, I should not study how it will work in NABARD, how I can link it with NABARD. All those things we need to say. Even my educational background is IT. So I also prepared how IT will be helpful in NABARD, how IT can be helpful for agriculture and rural development. So everything, whatever we speak in interview room, it should be somehow linked to NABARD. Only then they will get an impression that, okay, this guy is very serious about NABARD and he has a good understanding and good analytical mind about that. If you are just talking about your own experiences, own education, without linking it with NABARD, it will not be that much good.
Right. Fair enough, this is. And also you said they also asked about the LIC work. What were you doing there? Even LIC IPO, they asked questions on that also.
No, thankfully they did not ask about IPO.
Probably at that time it was in news. Now to people have been like
just
a lot
only before interview they postponed the IPO and that news got somewhat down and they did not ask.
Otherwise they would have asked definitely on that also, because current issue first of all and then related to what you have done, what have you been into, like that. So I think that is it. It was a wonderful conversation. You gave us a lot of information, insightful information about the preparation of phase 1, phase 2, and then even interview. And of course, it will be a booster for the working aspirants out there, those who dream of becoming an officer at NABARD, but feel that, we do not have time, we have less time. So will we be able to make it or not? So you have an example in front of your eyes, right? So that shall be it, Gowtham. Thank you so much for coming to our channel and sharing your strategy.
Thank you.
We wish you all the best for your journey in NABARD.
Thank you.
Okay.